Despite dropping 3 of their last 4 outings, etong sina Ken Tuffin and the rest of the Taranaki Mountainairs still have one last shot para makarating sa semi-final round ng New Zealand Basketball League. At tututukan natin ang lahat ng kaganapan na yan live dito sa Smart Sports Facebook page. Magoo Marjon po ang iyong likod. Makakasama natin ngayong hapon si Carlo Pamintuan. Magandang hapon sa iyo, Carlo. Magandang hapon sa lahat ng kating-katina sa live playoff basketball.
Good afternoon, Magoo. Ang tagal na nga natin na nagdadasal na makakita ng basketball. Hopefully, we see a Filipino basketball player, on the court representing at yun na nga yung ihahatid sa atin ng Smart Sports. We're very thankful to get this opportunity to see Ken Tuffin, an incoming fifth-year student ng FEU Tamaraos, performing with the Mountainairs, competing at a very high level. It is Sal's NBL. It is their finals week. Puro knockout po yung labanan dyan. So this is win or go home for Ken Tuffin and the rest of his team.
At the moment, patapos pa lang yung isang knockout match featuring the 3 and 7 teams. Mamaya-maya, 4 and 5 nga ang maglalaban. Etong si Ken Tuffin, binanggit mo na, Carlo, magiging FEU Tamaraw to in the coming UAAP Wars. Pero sa ngayon, dito sisilipin natin ano nga ba ang kaya ng kapitan nila. So Ken Tuffin, of course, sisilipin natin yung
itong
kanyang
si
profile.
Ken Tuffin. Go, Magoo.
Yun nga, si Ken Tuffin, the 6'4" forward mula sa FEU, Carlo.
Yeah, he was drafted second in the 7th round nung kanyang koponan in the NBL, the Mountainairs. He was also, a rugby player before. He was a first 15 player from his rugby team. He also played cricket. Na alam din natin, 2 very big sports in New Zealand, but he preferred basketball. It was something that he really loved. He was passionate about basketball, and that was why he chased an opportunity to be able to play collegiate ball in the UAAP, again, playing for the FEU Tamaraos, had some success there, had a couple of Final Four appearances. Ngayon naman, he will play as a semi-pro in New Zealand, which means na pwede pa po siyang bumalik. No? This does not disqualify him from still competing as an amateur. He has done very well. He has played 13 games with Taranaki so far in Sal's NBL this 2020. And he has shown us that he can compete at that high level. Pero yung nakakatuwa dito kay Ken Tuffin, he has always said that his priority is still in the future, is still to play in the PBA. Yan pa rin yung pangarap niya. Yan pa rin yung dream niya. And this is just, his route, his path going into that.
Sigurado naman, Carlo, hindi ka pwedeng maturingan New Zealander kung hindi ka nagra-rugby. Pero lumulutang din yung pagka-Pinoy niya dahil yung basketball talaga. Yung lumulutang sa kanya, yung lumalabas sa kanya yung passion niya, yung pagmamahal niya para sa larong ito. At ito nga, nung June 30, sabi mo nga, na-draft siya recently mula dito sa Semi-Pro League. June 30, nanggimbal siya, nag-ingay siya doon sa New Zealand and of course pati na rin sa internet. Sa ganda niya kanyang pinakita, eksplosibo yung nilaro niya last June 30.
Outstanding performance coming from him. It was his best performance of the entire tournament. No? Napakaganda nung nilaro ni Tuffin against the Auckland Huskies. Although they lost that game 109-95, he was able to put up 19 points, grab 4 rebounds, 6 of 10 from the field. He had 5 threes in 24 minutes. And yun yung napapansin natin Magoo sa kanya. No? He will get his 20 minutes. Sometimes he will get 30, but at the very least, he will get some burn. 20 minutes as a starter. So you know that this young gun has already gained the trust of his coaching staff. Alam naman natin that the entire world has been ravaged by the COVID pandemic. So this is a unique situation even for the NBL because before this league restarted, they redrafted everyone. So wala pong halos magkakakilala dun sa mga magkakakampi because they drafted their entire teams. May mga players lang who put their name in the hat, said that they wanted to join, and then they formed their teams from that entire draft. So, it's the perfect opportunity for someone like Ken Tuffin to go from unknown to someone who plays a big role because everyone will be given an equal opportunity to perform. And so far, he's provided the numbers to show that he can really hang with the best of them in this league.
And he finds himself today in a precarious position dahil knockout game na nga etong kanyang Mountainairs na team, 4 seed. Makakalaban nila yung Franklin Bulls, 5 seed One-game trophy to, yung mananalo lulusot into the semi-final round, pero magiging pang-apat na beses niya makakatapat itong Franklin. Una sila nagtapat, Carlo, was back on the 24th of June.
Yep, and it was actually the debut of Ken Tuffin in South NBL. Tuffin had a good performance, a solid performance in that particular ball game. Had 10 points, 4 rebounds, a couple of assists. He was 3 of 6 from the field in 23 minutes. May intindihan mo na hindi pa niya masyadong gustong tumira at that point because he was fresh off, joining the squad. Only 6 attempts for Tuffin, but he did enough to be able to help his squad, the Mountainairs, pick up a 107-95 victory. Kasi nakapaglaro na eh. The Mountainairs were able to play one game without him, which was a victory, a 112-96 victory against the Nelson Giants. So it was in their second game that he was able to perform.
And then, pagdating ng July 7, nakatatapat na naman niya itong Franklin na squad. And decente na naman ang kanya pinakita, Carlo.
Another 10-point performance, Magoo. That's correct for Ken Tuffin, alongside 8 rebounds, a couple of assists, 4 of 5 field goals naman yung kanyang ginawa. So it was a very efficient performance coming from Ken Tuffin. Yun yung mga nakikita natin na kailangan niya from his game to be able to help out his team. One, he needs consistency with the shooting. Dapat kahit konti lang yung shots na mabigay sa kanya, he's able to convert on a huge part of them. Second is that he needs to stay away from foul trouble. If he stays on the court, he will be helpful. He is one of their main guys in terms of defending the wings, even some of the guards for the Mountainairs. He is a very important cog of their defensive system. So it is crucial for him to stay on the floor and stay effective. 2 wins in their first 2 matchups against the Franklin Bulls. Kaso, yung pangatlo nga na matchup nila mukhang na pag-aralan na ng konti ng Franklin yung kung ano yung gagawin, the best way to stop Ken Tuffin.
As what always happens, Carlo, kapag ka merong magaling, nasa scout. At pagka nasa scout ka, nagkakaroon ng defensive plan against you. So yung unknown na bigla na lang sumabog sa eksena ng New Zealand basketball, unti-unti nila napag-aralan, and yung huling ang outing na yon, sumama na disgrasya. They lost 3 of their last 4, and medyo masama talaga yung pinakita niya nung kanilang huling game.
Ken Tuffin was not able to score a single point in that game against the Franklin Bulls, which they lost 92-65, a drubbing kontra sa Mountainairs. Only grabbed 1 rebound, 2 field goal attempts for Ken Tuffin in 9 minutes. And the problem there, Magoo, the big problem there was that he committed a couple of very early fouls. So kung hindi na siya makapaglaro, he will not be given the opportunity to come back para magpainit muli. No? He won't be given that chance. The coach will opt to just follow their other players and give them more minutes. So again, for the Franklin Bulls, they showed that they know how to take Ken Tuffin away from the game. They have the capability to do so. But right now, let's see how Ken Tuffin and the rest of the Taranaki Mountainairs are able to adjust their particular game to try and make it into the Final 4 in this knockout matchup against the Bulls.
Yun nga, pagka na-check ka na, doon naman makikita gaano katikas na player ka talaga, di ba, Carlo? Because it is up to you now to try and find different spots, try to do different things para nga malinlang mo naman yung mga depensa. So tibay na loob ang kakailanganan dito ni Ken Tuffin. He's gonna have to be extra tough today if he wants to power or help his squad make it to the next round. Etong si Ken Tuffin, tututukan natin all game long, pero meron din namang mga ibang kakampi pa. Eto si Ken Tuffin na pwede rin nating ma-enjoy yung kanilang games, di ba, Carlo?
Oh, for sure, Magoo. He has 2 very good teammates. Itong si Deron Raukawa, who is the leading scorer of the entire league, 22.8 points per game. Siya rin yung pinakamaraming assists sa buong liga at 7.6 assists per ball game as well. Their leading rebounder on the other end is Marcel Jones, averaging 13.4 boards per ball game. So yan yung mga first 2 picks ng Taranaki Mountainairs in the recent draft. They came in the first 2 selections of that squad at sa kanila talaga bumabangko yung buong koponan to be able to really make a change dun sa performance ng kanilang koponan, because in 2019, Magoo, they had a total of only 3 wins against 15 losses. So it was not a great performance for the Mountainairs. It's already a big turnaround for them to be able to be in this situation. Of course, taking into fact that it's not as business as usual for Sal's NBL. Sobrang kakaiba nung nangyari because of how we're all dealing with this pandemic. But you know what? Everyone is gunning for the championship nonetheless.
And alam naman natin, as proven already, anything can happen. Nung isang araw lang, yung 6 and 7, nag-playoffs or knockout game kontra sa isa't isa, Carlo. The Nelson Giants took on the Canterbury Rams, and it was the Rams who came out with a W there. Kaya sila yung nakatapat nung 3 seed na Auckland Huskies. And kani-kanina lang, siguro naman wala nang milagro in the last 58 seconds. Ano? Bago tayo mere, mga 1 minute na lang natitira doon. Lamang pa ng 10 yung Rams kontra doon sa Huskies. Inaantay ko yung update. Hindi ko pa nakikita kung yung sa New Zealand basketball, di pa rin nag-update. But if they won, that means sila makakatapat netong number 1 seed na Otago Nuggets. Dahil pagdating nga sa Final Four nila, Carlo, merong reseeding na mangyayari. Top seed will take on the lowest qualifying team, which means kung nanalo nga kanina yung Rams, ang makakatapat ng mananalo dito sa Mountainairs and Bulls ay yung 2 seed na Jets, di ba?
It's a very unique situation, Magoo, kasi tayo sa Pilipinas in the PBA, of course, even in the NBA, nasanay tayo sa bracket na kaya mo nang planuhin from start to finish in the playoffs kung sino yung makakatapat mo. But not here in Sal's NBL because they want the strongest team to have an extra bonus. At yung bonus na yon is to be able to match up against the weakest team, at least after the elimination round, yung pinakamahinang team yung tatapat sa'yo in the Final Four. But Magoo, amidst all that, I think it is a huge opportunity for Ken Tuffin just to grow as a player because we all know that the play in New Zealand is at a very high level. And nag-Olympics yan recently, of course. We all know the story with Coach Tab Baldwin as well. But we know that the play there is different from what it is in the Philippines. So to be able to pick up knowledge from there, bring it back here, playing for the FU Tamaraws one last season before you move on to the PBA D-League and then ultimately into the PBA, this is great for the development of Ken Tuffin's career. And we're very excited for him as a young professional. And we're also very excited for all the young Filipinos who are representing the country in all facets of sport. Pero syempre, iba yung pagtutok natin sa mga nagre-represent in terms of basketball. Tuffin, one of them, of course. Thirdy Ravenna will be doing so in the upcoming months. In women's basketball, may Jack Daniel Animam. In the G League, may Kai Soto. So these are very exciting times to be a basketball fan, Magoo. Even if limitado pa yung pwede natin gawin in basketball, we heard that training will be allowed finally in the coming week. But we still don't know when we will see actual basketball action in the Philippine soil. So we will have to make do with seeing our athletes performing in other countries as of the moment.
And we are just now moments away from the opening tip. Knockout match na po between etong sina Ken Tuffin and the rest of the Taranaki Mountainairs as they take on the Franklin Bulls for the right to advance to the semifinals. The opening tip, hahatid pa rin sa inyo ng Smart Sports Live dito sa kanilang Facebook page.